today's Red Dane top tip is on managing the grazing of your pastures. Here I'm in a mixed pasture of chicory, ryegrass and kikuyu, and I'm standing here where the cows just come in to get their section. So it's important that you work out how long it's going to take you to get around a particular pasture, and that you balance that with the rate of growth of the grasses or the broadleaf that you're growing. So we normally work in this area around Harare in winter between 20 and 30 days, 20 being the fastest when it's really quite warm, and 30 being the slowest time for the pasture to recover. So if you graze too fast, you'll end up having periods of no grazing. If you graze too slow, you'll end up having periods where the grass or the whatever it is you're grazing is overgrown. So we're pretty happy here that we've got our ryegrass at about 3-leaf stage, and our chicory is still looking at a nice vegetative stage. What we do is we then put the cattle in. So the area we have, we'd rather have a bigger area for the amount of cows we have. So what we do is we put the cows in, and we don't have a set time limit. We put them in just after milking in the morning and again in the afternoon into another section. And what we do is we watch that they don't overgraze. We watch that they graze down to a level that we're happy that the recovery is going to be quick, and yet they're getting the most of the pasture. So here you can see the cows have just been led into their new section. They get 2 sections every day. We give them one after morning milking and another one afternoon milking. It's important that you manage how much the cows are eating. If you left them in the pasture all the time, they'll tend to overgraze the ryegrass, for example, and then it'll take too long to come back. And it's also important that you're bringing them in at the right stage. So here we're pretty happy that one of the challenges with having different species is that you'll never have the perfect time for all the species that you're growing. But the ryegrass chicory, we're quite happy. We're on 3-leaf stage on the ryegrass, and the chicory is still nice and in its vegetative stage, isn't starting to seed or anything like that. You can see the cows absolutely love the chicory. They seem to actually go for that before the ryegrass, but they will clean this up. As you can see in the area here where the chickens are now behind the cows, is that they've cleaned up most of the grasses, and what's left the chickens will pick away at. So here you can see where the cows were this morning, and they've grazed up most of the grass down to a level that we like. We have left some leaf so that it grows back quicker. There are a couple of patches that we're not happy with, that should have been grazed down further. If there's too much of that, you can then follow with a tractor with a mower and mow it down. We let the chickens come in and they'll peck away at it quite a bit, and what we are hoping is that we'll have less of these big tufts of grass left, with the chickens following as we get the number up, because they spread the manure and stop us having those big tufts left behind. But generally this area here is about right how much we'd like to leave. We've reseeded some ryegrass into this, so we being cautious not to overgraze because we'll damage those new plants. So next time around we'd probably graze it a little harder than we have this time. So here you can see that we've stitched in ryegrass, and you can see the lines here. So this was already a chicory pasture that had annual ryegrass last winter. The ryegrass had disappeared during summer, and we then at the beginning of winter stitched in rye. And you can see it's coming through quite nice and thick now in the middle of winter. So we've got this nice mix of the 2 different pastures. So here you can see we've stitched in ryegrass into winter. And the kikuyu is starting to spread during the winter, and in summer you'll see the kikuyu really dominating.